Hi and welcome back to another video of jPlay. I am Marcus and today I will walk you through some actual rounds of Space Pioneers by Thomas Neu here, a game that recently launched on Kickstarter. As you can see, the game itself does not really have a box yet, so I had to print out the cover myself just to show you something. And you also see that the game is solely card driven. So you have this huge deck, I think nearly 100 planet and spaceship cards here. We have the so-called mission cards here. They're all the same for all the players. Then you have those top secret cards, also mission deck, but those missions do vary from card to card. So this is really something where you don't particularly know or exactly know what the other players are up to. And as the very first question that a lot of games get when they are being published or announced or just added to the BGG database is, can you play this game alone? I can say yes, this game is playable solo, which is why there is this mission in a one-player game card here. This is double-sided and basically offers you some tasks, and this is what I will focus on today in this walkthrough here. So I will walk you through some actual rounds of a solitaire game of Space Pioneers here, but fear not, the game itself doesn't feel that much different when you play it alone. Of course, there are some actions which you will never do. So for once, you will never place one of your planet cards to the network of another player. Apparently, there is no other player, and you cannot really lose this game as a in a solitaire variant. You just play for the victory points, and then the rules suggest you can pair them or publish them on BGG or Twitter, whatnot, and compare them to fellow gamers. Okay, let's set up the game for the solitaire mode. So we will get rid of those top secret cards, and I think I will show you some of the tasks later on when I finish my little walkthrough here. But for now, we will get rid of the top secrets cards. We will also get rid of those mission cards here. Keep in mind, they're again all the same for all the players, and so we can focus on our mission card for the one-player game here. You see the game is in German and in English, so again, fear not, I don't have to translate here myself. I think there are still some minor mistakes, especially on this mission card here. So here on the side A is task 1 and task 2. On the other side of this mission card, it's again task 2 and task 2. And basically this is what you do in order to score additional victory points. So for once, you get points by collecting planets from your supply network, and the other possibility for you to score some victory points is to fulfill those tasks. You can do that in any order, but again, we will start on page 1 here, and when we completed both of those tasks, we would flip it over, then we might be able to fulfill the other 2 tasks, and if we are then successful, we can flip it back and score those missions again, basically. But I think I will not conduct a full playthrough here, so don't expect me to more or less complete any of those tasks, I guess. The setup of the game is really fast and straightforward. Basically what you do, you shuffle together all those planet and spaceship cards to get one draw deck here. Again, we already have taken care of those missions here, so we will just keep that nearby. Then each of the player gets 3 of those cards. So this is our hand, and we will always reveal 2 cards in some kind of a public offering. So this offering would be theoretically available for all the players, but again, we are playing alone in this playthrough. These are the cards we drew. Basically, these are 3 planets, which is kind of a problem because the very first card you always have to play is a spaceship. From there you can then play compatible cards, but really the very first thing you have to play is a spaceship. Luckily, the very first thing you do during your turn is to draw a card. You can either draw blindly or take a card from the offering here. And we see here is a ship available. If there wasn't a ship in the public display here, then I would be able to show my cards to the opponents, basically to prove, hey, I don't have a ship. And then I would be allowed to draw cards from this deck here until I get a ship. But all the other cards are then being removed from the game, and this is how the game actually ends. Once we are running through this whole pile of cards, the game ends and then we see who will be the winner. And again, you get points by scoring those planets, so basically by collecting them or by fulfilling your missions. Okay, let's go to the first step of our round here, and this would be to draw a card. Again, I could go for a face down card here from the pile, but in this case I clearly see a spaceship, and I will certainly take that spaceship. And we immediately reveal a new card, and again we are lucky, we found another spaceship. After we drew a card, we can now optionally place a card. And again, the very first thing that you have to play when there is no other card in play is to play a ship card. Luckily, we found a ship card, so let's place it here. And this was already our turn. So this silver cap here is our starting point into the universe. This is our little ship that helps us to build our own network. Isn't that nice? At the end of the round, we can always opt to remove one of our spaceship cards, either from our supply network or from our hand. Basically, you usually do that out of tactical reasons, because you want to get through the deck faster, or you really want to see what's coming up. So there are reasons to do that from time to time, not very often. Of course, you will never allowed to break your supply network here. This is also true when scoring those planets, but I think I will come to that in a second. So we can now basically end our round and start the next one. So again, we have to draw a card, and as we have played a ship already, we don't have necessarily to take one, but ships are always helpful, especially the right ships. Right now, I don't really know what the right ship really is, so I think I will just draw a card from the deck here, and this is another planet, the Sandbox. And we add it to our hand. We are really looking for duplicates, because this is the way how you score some actual victory points. So when you place a planet for the first time, it just stays in your supply network. But if you then later on place the same planet in your supply network, then you will be allowed to take the very first planet you placed, and for that score a victory point. And now we would be able to place a planet card next to our supply network, and you have to do that in an alternate checkboard like fashion. So you will never have a ship adjacent to another ship, or a planet adjacent to another planet. So we'll always have ship, planet, you get the idea. One thing that we could do is now place a planet next to either of those sides, and now those icons will get important. So if we want to place Prime Rock here next to our silver cap, we have now several options in order to do that. For once, if the color of those cards does match, then you are fine. You can simply place it next to the ship here. The next thing that you could pair are those outer symbols here. So this could also be allowed. So for example, if you would have a red card, and this red card would here on the left hand side, this law and this box here, then you would also be allowed to place it like this. And the next thing that you could do is to utilize those middle symbols here that are on the vertical edges of the card here. So I think in this case this would be the bad example, but I could use the newly drawn Sandbox planet like this. And this would also allow me to place the planet like this. Note on the side edges here there are no middle symbols, so this only works when you put them in a vertical axis basically. So I think for now, why not just place Prime Rock here next to Silver Cap. This already concludes our turn. Now I would be allowed to remove this spaceship from the board from the game, because I'm not breaking my supply network, but right now I don't have any benefits, so I think I will skip that step, and this means we are also ending our round. So let's start the next one, and again we will draw a card, and I think this time I will go for this spaceship here. Let's reveal the next card. This is another planet, Mars 2016. Next we have to place a card, and I'm not so sure, to be honest. I think I will place a sandbox like this. Keep in mind those middle symbols do match, so I can place it like this. And the idea is to try to fulfill this task 2 down there. You receive 3 victory points if you place a spaceship the way that the card is adjacent to 3 or 4 cards or planets when placing it, and this would give me 3 victory points. So this is really huge. And unfortunately, the planets and the spaceship I have are not really in favor. So ideally I would be able to place a spaceship like this, but of course before I would need to build around this one or maybe around this edges here. So possibly I could place the next card here and really hope for something cool down there, but I really have to be very careful. So I will not remove a card from my hand. So let's get to the next round, and I think this time I will go for Mars 2016. This might come in handy. We will reveal a new card immediately. Lunar PX7, unfortunately not a ship, and this could really mean trouble. But I think I will immediately place the black bolt here next to prime rocks, though those icons do match. Now I'm out of spaceship cards. Basically I only have planets on hand, and when I now start the next round I check if there are any spaceships around. There aren't, so I would now be allowed to draw cards from the deck until I get a spaceship. This is good and bad. The good thing is, yeah, I will certainly find a ship. The bad thing is I will go through this deck much faster, and keep in mind when this deck is finished the game ends, and yeah, whatever points I scored until then, that's basically it. So but I think I want to do that, so let's draw cards. So this is Ice Chunk, this is Glow 74, Deep Core. This is really tough because this is a match. Wow, this is certainly a point I lost. Crap, I maybe should have reconsidered. This is Blue Orb, and this is another Silver Cap. So I'm now allowed to take this card onto my hand, and when I check the supply network, this card will fit into that nicely. Of course I will not place it now because I really want to achieve that one task. So I will certainly want to play this card here first, so another planet. So let's do that. And I think I already had it. Yeah, that's this one. So this is Lunar PX7. So this matches by this middle symbol here. So this is perfectly legal. This ends our turn. So I think let's go for Lunar PX7 here, because I already have that in my supply network. So this is certainly a good one. Let's reveal a next card. And here we see another ship, an alien sheet. Yeah, pretty obvious, I guess. This looks pretty alien to me. And now we have to place a card, and I will go, of course, for this Silver Cap here. So it has to match all of its edges. That's important. So here we don't see a problem. Those border icons, corner icons do match. Here we see the color does match, and here again we see those corner icons do match to Lunar Peak 7. This is really extremely awesome. So we just completed task 2 on the side A of our mission card here. You can do them in any order you like. So the next thing before we are allowed to flip this mission card would be to take 2 or more planets in one turn. This is not that easy as it may sound, but you also get 3 additional victory points for that. So we have to prepare or plan that accordingly. Right now there's no way to track your progress here basically, so you get your normal victory points by just collecting those cards. So what you have by the end of the game is just 1 point. But for those missions, there's nothing in the box that might help you to do that. I think the rules speak of using planet cards in order to cover up missions you already completed. Right now, I don't have even a planet card. Of course, I could take some of those discarded ones. So here I would really prefer some whatever chipboard or cardboard components or some wooden cubes in order to cover up those missions. I mentioned this to Thomas and he's seriously considering something like that for a possible stretch goal also. So everyone help to make that stretch goal come true. Okay, I think let's go for the next round. And as I still want to complete this first task here, I will go for this alien ship, and ships are always cool. So let's reveal the new card. And here we have the sandbox. This is cool because we already have sandbox in our supply network. So I can also show you how to score some actual single victory points. But let's first make sure that Lunar PX7 cannot be removed from our supply network. And I think we will just place the alien ship next to it. So whenever I would now place the other Lunar PX7 somewhere here on my supply network, I would normally have to remove the very first instance of the same planet and score it as a victory point. But I'm not allowed to do that when I would break my supply network like this. So in this case, I can really make sure I can score 2 or maybe even more planets in one single turn. But I really have to consider and plan this well ahead in order to achieve that. So let's get into the next round. I will certainly go for sandbox. Let's reveal the next card. Here we have Prime Rock, something we also have in our supply network. This is a good thing. But for now, I want to score some easy victory points, or basically one. So I will place Sandrock next to Silver Cap here. So again, those center symbols do match. And now I have to check my supply network if I have another instance of sandbox in my supply network. Of course I do. So I have to remove this planet, having to keep in mind I need to keep my supply network intact. In this case, this is also true. So I scored my very first normal victory point. I just put it next to my hand so I know that I have this victory point. But keep in mind, we also fulfilled our task 2 already. Let's do 1 or 2 more rounds. Let's get to Prime Rock here. Let's reveal the next card. Here we have another instant of Mars 2016. We have one on our hand, but not in our supply network. But this is something I can deal with at a later point in time. Then I have to place a card, and I think I will place Lunar PX7 here. So here the border icons do match, or the corner icons do match. And theoretically I would now have to score Lunar PX7, so the very first instance here. But as I already mentioned, this would break my supply network, so I cannot do that. And this gives me now the possibility to later score some serious victory points. Much easier that way. Okie dokie, let's draw our next card, and I really hope for a ship now. No, this is an ice chunk. Okay, I think we haven't seen this planet before. Then I have to place a card. I think I will place Prime Rock here. This scores this planet. The supply network is still intact, so I just scored a point. I could now theoretically remove a ship, but I think I will not do that. I really do have a plan here. And again, I'm out of ships, so I could now decide to draw cards until I get a ship, but I think I will not do that because there is still one meaningful turn I could do afterwards. So I think for now I will not do that. I don't need deep core, I don't need ice chunk. So I think in this case I will just draw a card blindly, and here we have Glow 74. This is kind of okay because I have another planet in my supply network. But first of all, I will repair this slot here. So now I will place Mars 2016 here. So it matches here, it matches those icons. Red is red. That's not a problem. And now I will remove this silver cap spaceship here from the game. Why am I doing that? Because theoretically I could fulfill the mission task 2 a second time. So when I complete the first side of my mission card, then I would flip it as shown. Maybe I would complete those 2 as well. Then I would be able to flip it back. And this would then allow me to place another of this silver cap cards here, or maybe another ship that might fit in there. It's not easy, but it's certainly a possibility to score you a lot of victory points. This time I really want to go for a ship. I think this is really necessary. Yeah, okay, again, I will search for a ship until I get one. Here we have deep core. Okay, we already removed from the game, so this is completely or not really interesting for us anymore. Let's reveal the next warp, blue orb. We haven't seen this before. And here we have the spider pin. This is apparently a ship, and this is what we take to our hand. And we will absolutely place this spider ship here next to those lunar PXs here. So they match perfectly. This is great. So here we can really decide if we want to match the corner symbols or the middle symbols. In this case, only one of those have to match. Here we don't have a problem. This is perfect. Now Lunar Peak 7 are connected, but I will not score those points until the next card shows up. So the next time Lunar Peak 7 shows up, I would be allowed to place it somewhere next to my supply network. And then I would theoretically be able to remove them. But of course, first of all, I need to fill in the blank here. But overall, I'm really prepared. A very cool move here. And this is really something that I like about this game. This whole puzzle mechanic. How will everything fit together? And it's really even more fun when you play it against another player. So let's draw the next card. We certainly don't want to have this deep core here. So I think in this case, I will go for Ice Chunk, because this gives me some options later on. I would now reveal the next card. Here we have the gold ring. This is certainly a spaceship, something I could use later on. This is a good thing. Okay, let's place a card, and I think I will place the second instance of Math 2016. So this is red, not a problem. I cannot score this card because this would break my supply network. So this would be another possibility to score more than just 1 point when placing whatever the next time a Math 2016 card to my supply network. Awesome. I certainly need chips, so let's go for the gold ring here. Let's reveal the next card, and again we see an alien ship. We don't score points for ships, we only score points for planets. Something I should have mentioned earlier maybe. And now I will play one of my glow 74 planets next to silver cap here, so those symbols do match. I will not remove a spaceship from the board or from my hand. So let's draw the next card, and I think again I will go for the alien ship. Again, ships are always nice. Let's reveal the next card, and here we have another sandbox, and we have sandbox still on our supply network. This is great, but I think first of all let's play our card. Here we will go for the gold ring. Yep, this looks okay. And now we do a no-brainer action, and this is to take sandbox here, of course. So let's reveal the next card, and wow, here we see Lunar Peak 7. Great, we will be able to complete our first task here, which means we solve the entire side A of our mission card. Awesome. So let's place our card, and I think I will go for sandbox again. So here yellow to yellow, this is not a problem. So we have to score this planet here, so another point goes to our victory point pile. Another easy one, we will grab Lunar Peak 7. Let's see what we get here. Prime Rock again. Okay, this could be cool because we still have another instance of Prime Rock in our supply network like here. But first of all, we have to check if we can place Luna already. But I think I made a slight mistake, because if I would take out those two instances of Luna, this alien ship here, yeah, would be outside of our supply network. This is not a legal move, so we have to place another card first, but I think this shouldn't be a big deal. So let's place this alien ship next to Glow 74, and now we can optionally remove one alien ship from our supply network, which we will do so in this case. When we take out those two instances, Spider Pin would still be connected to Mars 2016, so this would then be a legal move. So let's do one final round. We will take Prime Rock, that's for sure. Here's another ice chunk, that's okay. I have another instant of ice chunk on my hand. Now we will place Luna Pig 7, and I think I will place this above Black Bolt here. And now we would have to see if we can score Luna Pigs. And yeah, here we have another instance, here we have another instance. They both do not break our supply network, so I can score both of those victory points for once. But what's way cooler, we just completed task 1. So basically both of those tasks have been completed, so those are 6 additional victory points. Next we would flip the mission card to side B here, and task 2 says you receive 3 victory points if you place a planet the way that the card is adjacent to 3 or 4 card, in this case spaceships, when placing it. So basically the other way around, like the task 2 on the other side of the mission card. So I think you have seen basically everything what's important for the solo game. So maybe I will show you 1 or 2 missions on the other mission cards when playing multiplayer, and also have to, let's say, explain how to deal with the other players, because there is a way to interact with each other, which is really kind of neat, I think. But first of all, here is the so-called mission cards. Again, this is the same for all the players. The mission card consists of 4 missions, so you get 1 victory point, place a planet in the planetary system of another player. I show that to you in a second how that works. It's pretty similar to placing a planet in your own supply network, but there is a little bit more to that. You get an additional victory point when taking a minimum of 2 planets in 1 turn. This is something I just did with Luna Peak 7 here. For example, here's another victory point if I place 4 spaceship around a single planet, also something that is certainly achievable. And you gain 2 victory points when you first complete all the other 3 missions on that card. And then I would have to build a row, a horizontal or a vertical of 4 cards in 1 color. So you really have some very interesting things to look out for. But how can I place a card in another player's network? First thing that's really important, you can only place planets in another player's network, never spaceships. That's very important. So let's assume this would be the network of another player, and I want to place a card here. So for example, to score this mission here on this mission card. So I would now check, like I did with my supply network. In my supply network, I could place Luna Peak 7 just like that. That's not a problem. Here it's yellow to yellow. Here I have the corner symbols matching the corner symbols. This is not that easy when placing the card in another player's network, because the rules are much harder. So all 3 symbols have to match of the edges, or the color of the card and the inner symbol has to match, or the color of the card and 2 outer symbols have to match. So let's check again. Here we don't have a problem. Here we have the color and 2 outer symbols. So that's our 2 criteria out of 3 that match perfect. This would work. But here it doesn't. So here we only have 1 criteria matching. This is the outer symbols here. If we would have whatever the shield symbol down there or the crosshair symbol up there, this would be also legal. But in this case, I would not be allowed to place this planet to another player's supply network. Why would I do that? For once, to score those victory points here, or this additional victory victory point on this mission card. Or the other reason could be to, let's say, make its life tougher to fulfill this mission here, for example. Because if I see, hey, this guy has now whatever, will sooner or later place the 4th card of the same color, and he will score 2 additional victory points here. So I want to make sure he cannot do that. So I would place then a card with another color in that network and whatever, spoil him those victory points. Last thing to show you are some of those top secret cards. I think there are 5 in the box, and those top secret cards, they are really top secret, so none of the other players should know what you are up to. And here are tasks like you receive 2 victory points if there are 2 red spaceships in the planetary system at the end of the game. And this is really important. Those top secret cards will be scored by the end of the game, so here you want to make sure you have 2 red spaceships. Here you get 3 victory points if there are planets of all 4 different colors in your planetary systems at the end of the game. So here you will have some, let's say, some more goals at the start of the game, so you have a little bit more ideas of what you want to achieve when building up your network, which really can be kind of neat. Yeah, and this brings me to the end of my preview or walkthrough video of Space Pioneers. I really hope you have an idea now of how this game actually feels. It's really a relatively fast but still relatively deep little game, so you really can think a lot, especially when playing with more than just me. To be honest, the campaign is live on Kickstarter, so you will certainly find a link to the campaign in the description of this video. And yeah, go there, check it out, and hopefully back it. I think it's really a very, very neat little game, and maybe we can unlock some of those stretch goals. Hope to see you soon in one of my next videos, and yeah, until then, bye bye.